Good evening and welcome to the Whiskey Lover Society with me, Gert Retief, and tonight we are looking at another Kavalan. I just cannot get enough of the Kavalans. I've made so many videos on Kavalan. I haven't found one that I'm not in love with. And yeah, they seem to know how to make a very good whiskey. Nothing mediocre about any of the ones that they've produced previously. So yeah, the next one on the list, the Kavalan Rum Cask Edition. This is called the French Connection, 55.6% ABV, natural color, non-chill filtered. So quite looking forward to trying this one. Quite on the pricey side, as you can imagine, about 179 euros. If you can get hold of this specific ones. Not going to be so easy. It is a store-picked, as they would call it, of the House of Whisky in France. So got a sample of it. So if you're interested in it, you're going to have to do a little bit of digging. Go to the websites, especially the French online whiskey stores. You might pick up a bottle or two if you are interested. Of course, it is a single malt whiskey, single cask whiskey, in an ex-rum cask. Cask strength, of course, they are ticking so many boxes, it's unbelievable. This is cask number, if I have to have a look, it is M11104041A. It is bottle 122 of 150. So yeah, not going to be a long video. Nice little golden color to it, just a tad of amber to it. There is a little bit of a viscosity to it. There's a little bit of a clinging to the glass. Not sure if you can see it. So there is a little bit of a oiliness to it. And I also suspect a little bit of a oiliness when you add a little bit of water to it. So let's see what 179, or let's call it 180 euros is going to get you on the nose. Cheers. Now, that's one thing about the Taiwanese whiskey Kavalan. They are always fantastic on the nose for me. There's no waiting. There's no let it breathe for half an hour to extract all the best aromas. You pour it and it is there. And especially the cask strength versions that they have, you would suspect at 55.6% ABV is going to really kick you in the nose, even with a little bit of an agitation. It's there, but it's still rounded off. It's smooth. It does not suggest that high ABV. If you would give me this blind, and I have no idea, I would venture 43 maximum on this one. It is really nice and mellow, and I think it's going to be quite a dangerous one. You might think it is not so high, you're not proofing down. It's definitely going to kick your ass, but it is nice. It's well balanced. Now, the normal, some of the Kavalans with the sherry cask can be quite sweet. And this one, there's a lovely sweetness to it, but it's not an overly sweet whiskey. There's an oakiness appearing immediately. That oaky nose to it, a little bit of an oak dusty note that appears. You also get a little bit of the caramels, the toffee notes, vanilla's coming through, a little vanilla custard or creme brulee type of note. It reminds me a little bit of a vanilla infused rum, almost like a, what was it, Captain Morgan's Spice Gold rum. So you get a hint of that. Now, I don't know if it's just the power of suggestion that it is rum cask, But that vanilla and that rummy note, that little bitey rum note, it reminds me of that. So definitely that oaky dusty note is also appearing, and with a little bit of time it seems to elevate that little oaky notes. So on the taste, cheers. Now I did venture a small sip, thinking 55.6% ABV. You need to be careful. It's still, from the nose to the taste, it does not suggest that 55.5% ABV. It feels way less than that. There's not a big stinging hotness in it. Don't get me wrong, it is hot, but it is not, well, it feels like a matured hot whiskey or matured high ABV whiskey. This is, of course, a no age statement whiskey. It is from Taiwan. Warmer temperatures, I think always dog years. I think some people suggest 1 year in a cask in Taiwan is about 4 years or 5 years in Scotland, as an example. So it matures older, faster, but really, really nice. I really enjoy this one. From nose to the taste, it's nice. Is it my favorite one? I'm not 100% convinced. Maybe if I add a little bit of water to see what it does. Let's give me one more try. There's a little bit of that oakiness coming through. Every time that I seem to go back, it just dials up the bitter notes a little bit. Still not unpleasant, but definitely there's an oak build up to it. I think it will be a good idea just to add a little bit of water to this one, just to see the effect. I normally don't like to add water, as it is now. Drinking at a low level for me already. So personally, I would not add water to. But of course, for the sake of argument and for my opinion on it, I will definitely add a little bit of water. So yeah, there's a little bit of a fudgy note also appearing. A little fudgy, vanilla fudge sweetness coming out. It drinks like 43% ABV, which I don't not sure if it's such a good thing if you don't know what you are doing. So yeah, a little oaky build up. Let me just give it one more try. A little bit more oak, but still a nice drinkable one. Still not sure, or still not convinced it's the best one for me. Now I did bring a little bit of water. I'm just going to rinse the palate a little bit. Just going to add maybe teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of water. Now the first thing that I immediately noticed, that the nose for me is not so good anymore. It feels like you tone down all of those nice notes. It brought the nosing aromas a little bit down. So personally, I would not add water to this one, but if I, on the taste with water, let's see. There's a little bit oilier, a little bit more subdued, but the flavors are still there. There's a little more oiliness, a little bit more clinging, a little bit more creamy, but the flavors are still there. I think it takes water well when you put it in the glass. The taste is okay, but for me the aromas is a little bit different. So from the nose, it didn't really help. Maybe a little less water will be sufficient. But definitely on the taste, it makes a nicer change for me. It just takes a little bit of that rough edge off it, and it makes it a little bit sweeter as well, a little bit oily, a little bit creamy. The toffees are there, the vanillas are there, that creme brulee is there, and that little fudgy note is also there, which is last try. Oh, it becomes a little sweeter every time that I go back. This is really nice. I'm still a little partial towards the ones with the sherry notes. I do like a good sherry whiskey. They make fantastic one. So this is not at the bottom of the barrel. €180 think it's a little bit too steep for me to go buy a bottle. I would rather go one, the Solus whiskies, where you can get a nice sweet whiskey. I'm sorry, but I do like the sweet whiskies. But yeah, a nice drinkable one. If you could find it, give it a go. And of course, as usual, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I see you next time. Cheers.